welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to Jacob Cast 2024. While I play Fortnite, we're going to talk about WWE Monday Night Raw, and then we'll talk about the pay-per-view World Collide. Well, not World Collide, but the Triple Mania. Alright, now let's see. Hopefully this is on a live stream. Hopefully the people are watching my channel, so I can now do my review. I can do my introduction. Y'all can enjoy the video. Hold on a minute. Okay, good. At least I'm on a live stream. So, alright, this is Jacob Cat 2024. We're gonna talk about WWE Monday Night Raw, August 18, 2025 review. We're gonna talk about Monday Night Raw. We'll talk about Triple Mania that was in Mexico City. We'll talk about those matches. We'll talk about the news and rumors for WWE about WWE probably going to ESPN pretty soon, and about we know that Monday Night Raw is gonna be in Birmingham in London, I believe. It's gonna be on the East Coast. It'll be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the West Coast it's gonna be 12 o'clock, because they're gonna be in a different country. SmackDown this week gonna be in Dublin, Ireland. Now we got some news and rumors about AEW. We got some on Karrion Kross and Scarlett in this interview. I just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comment section if y'all want to see more. My video is sponsored by my favorite podcasters and YouTubers, who I will allow in the super chat so y'all can hear their commentary. JD from New York, Salamat Sound Off, Good My Work Commentary, Fightful Pro Wrestling with Sean WhatsApp, and the other good podcasters. Now, Monday Night Raw was decent. The show opened up with Paul Heyman with The Vision, the faster name. Now I can start saying it. The Vision with Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Seth Rollins. They came out and opened the show. Braun Breaker got on a shirt called Badass Braun Breaker. Bronson Reed got those shoes, and they were talking about Jey Uso. Now, the main event might have been the best match of the night. Jey Uso and Braun Breaker in a Extreme Rules match, though, very good. We had a backstage segment with CM Punk confronting LA Knight. Knight still don't trust Punk. Now we know that they're going to compete in Clash in Paris in 2 weeks. We also got, I think we had Io Sky versus Raquel Rodriguez. I believe Io Sky, after the match ended in a DQ, Kawasaki got involved. Then they started brawling. Then Judgment Day got involved. Then Rhea came back. She got involved. And Rhea helped Io stand tall against Judgment Day. We had a backstage segment with the Kabuki Warriors, and Rhea Ripley they set aside their differences. We had Penta versus Xavier Woods. Penta beat Xavier Woods. Grayson Waller came out with them, so apparently Grayson Waller is a member of the New Day. He is. He's clearly a member of the New Day. Yeah, so, Penta beat Xavier Woods in a quick match. That was alright, whatever. Xavier Woods and New Day pretty much jobbers. At least Penta doing something. He getting over. He back in the winning column. But yeah, we do much. Austin Theory might be injured, or maybe he's in Katie when he's off TV. The fact that Grayson Waller with the New Day. No more A-Town Down Under. Grayson Waller wearing the sunglasses. He's wearing a new attire, just like Kofi and Xavier. Now we will see next week on Raw, Penta versus Kofi Kingston. Next week on Raw in Birmingham. We got the Judgment Day versus, I forgot who they took on, but it was the same team that they wrestled on Saturday at World Collide. Triple Mania. Triple Mania. That's when Judgment Day beat them, and Judgment Day stood tall again. They stood tall. We did see Vikingo trying to get involved in Judgment Day 2 called Dominant Truth. They did announce that Vikingo will defend the Triple Mega Championship against Dominic Mysterio at the Network Collide show on September 12th on Friday. So I guess it's gonna be before SmackDown. We also got a brawl with Sheamus and Rusev. Adam Pearce had announced it after a massive brawl night, and Adam Pearce almost lost his voice, so Sheamus and Rusev will be in a Donny match. So at least we have a stipulation for Clash in Paris. Hopefully they end the feud and they move on. It's been going on for like 2-3 months. They wrestled how many times? We had a nice vignette from Bayley. She struggles. Clearly Bayley gonna turn babyface. Hey, what the hell? Alright. The big thing that happened on this show. Yeah, like I said, Bayley struggled with her inner self, so Bayley gonna turn heel probably. Anyway, oh yeah, I forgot, we got Becky Lynch defend the Women's Intercontinental title against Natalya. This match lasted like what, 6 minutes? Very short. She tapped on Natalya with the armbar and that was it. And then she beat her up after the match. And then Maxine Dupree, she got involved. She was at ringside with Akira Tozawa with Natalya watching that match. So we could be looking at Becky Lynch and Maxine Dupree. People are less interested in seeing that or want to see that. I know I don't. But Becky Lynch had no competition, had no challengers. Lyra's not getting a title shot. They don't know what to do with Becky Lynch, but clearly we're going to get Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella. Because Nikki Bella came out and she helped Natalya. So she beat up Becky. So we are going to get that match. It might be a Clash in Paris. Or they might do a Crown Jewel. No, it can't be Crown Jewel. That's too far. So it might be a Clash in Paris. They're just throwing anyone, Becky. Yeah. Yeah, so, that was it. I think the big thing that everyone wants to talk about is the big thing that happened on Monday Night Raw was Naomi's shocking announcement. Wasn't really that shocking to me. I kind of knew it was going to happen. I kind of expected it. And a lot of my podcast friends expected it. As you guys know, that Naomi announced her pregnancy. She's pregnant. She announced her pregnancy. She had to go away for 9 months. She had to vacate the title. Now we know why, that she's been off TV for a couple of weeks. She hadn't been away. She hadn't gotten physical with anyone. And there's a reason why they haven't built up her feud with Stephanie Vaquer. Because she's pregnant. She was actually on Stephanie Man's podcast with her husband Jimmy. And Jimmy announced, he said it, that there can be a baby. And Naomi announced that she's pregnant. Crowd gave her a thin ovation, even though she's a heel. They chanted, "You deserve it." They chanted, "Baby Uso." Crowd loved her.
In an Extreme Rules match.
Yeah, so I thought it was great. Oh wait, hold on a second. Might want to turn down the volume just a little bit. Oh wait, hold on a second. Hold on. Gonna have to turn down the volume. I kind of want to turn down. Oh, god damn it. I gotta go somewhere where no one's gonna see me. Because I'm not trying to get killed. Hold on now, before I get back to my Raw review. Oh, god damn it, man. Jeez. probably got hiding here then. At least I got a vehicle or something. Alright, hold on. I want to turn down the volume because it's too low. Alright, hold on a second. Let me turn down the volume because it's a little bit too loud. Just want to turn down the volume a little bit. Oh, God damn it, hold on. Oh, wait. Maybe it's already turned down. Hold on a minute, hold on. I'm sorry. So anyway, I'll talk about Naomi. As I'm trying to play Fortnite, trying to survive here. Trying to talk about Naomi. Because, you know, she had to go away for 9 months. So the title had to be vacated. I think Stephanie Rockhair will get her title shot because she won the Battle Royal at Evolution. So she's on the title shot. They could do a fatal 4-way or triple threat. Maybe they could do Stephanie and Io Sky or Stephanie and Rhea. It might be a triple threat match again. Or they could do a one-on-one match. That's what I think gonna happen. I think that it's the direction that they're gonna go. I'm not sure. But I truly believe that. Alright, so since that Naomi pregnant, we'll have to wait and see who's gonna be champion. I actually want to show y'all the other podcasters here. Alright.
But then Dominic Mysterio grabbed the foot of Dragon Lee, and Finn Balor was able to take advantage and win with the coup de grace. The match was fine. It was a little bit of a showcase to get Iguana on Raw, and he got the offense when he was in there, and Dragon Lee took the fall. It was fine. At least the tag champs win a match. It was entertaining for what it was. We had a post-match attack, another one on this show. DQ'd post-match attack, very common in the world of WWE. Now after the match, we had this attack, and we had a save from the AAA champion, Vikingo.
Alright.
Set up, as we expected, Roman Reigns versus Big.
Yeah, we saw Roman Reigns came back. We knew he was advertised. He's advertised for next week's Raw. And clearly they're setting up Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns at Clash in Paris. That's a match that's gonna happen. Because Bronson Reed took out Reigns 2 weeks ago and he took his shoe twice. So they're gonna have a match. Reigns is gonna get back his shoes.
At Clash in Paris, maybe Roman Reigns can get his sneakers back. But all in all, it was a very good Raw this week.
Yeah, Raw was very good. A lot better than SmackDown. SmackDown sucked. It's fucking boring. It's trash. Don't they have Fightful? I forgot to mention they had Trick Williams and Javon Evans engaged in a Fury back to back here on Raw. Yeah, Judgment Day beat them with their Iguana and Dragon Lee. Monday Night Raw moving early to start time. Alright. We got Sean WhatsApp, who's in the super chat here.
But he should be. Braun Breaker says, not dead. Paul Heyman goes, unfortunately not. And Seth Rollins, I think, said that Jey Uso thinks that his family is better than Braun Breaker's, and they called his family fat asses, all that stuff, and I'm like, alright, like, we know that
Braun is like a pretty smart fella and all that, but like is it just for entertainment value only?
He would my work commentary with Greg Morgan.
How is he allowing Rollins to so easily manipulate him? He comes off like a dumbass. He comes off like someone who cannot think for himself, who's just a basic fucking caveman, a goddamn animal, to where he just listens to whatever Seth tells him and then, just viciously attacks like an attack dog. Where I would hope that Braun Breaker would be a little bit smarter than that, and when Seth just starts really getting in his face, he's not like, hold on a minute. Like, I don't like him. Don't get me wrong, but he didn't say any of that. I don't understand, like, where's the logic here? How is Breaker allowing himself to be riled up so easily by this puppet master? And I think it makes him look weak. I think it makes him look mentally weak, because you have to not only be physically strong to be a champion, you have to be mentally strong. And you have to be able to understand things, see things coming. Even if you're a heel, even if you're a dumbass chicken shit heel, who isn't supposed to be really smart, you need to be at least smarter than this. And I didn't think that made Braun Breaker look very smart. It made him look like, if the plan or the goal is to make him look like this unpredictable monster who you never know what he's going to do, then that's fine. Then he should be, maybe a little bit less mentally capable, than others, if he's just an unpredictable, savage fucking beast, if that's what they're going for here. And I get that, but it was the ease in which Rollins was doing these things that makes me wonder how that's going to affect him for the long term. Obviously, we know in the future the vision is going to crumble, and it's probably going to be Breaker getting increasingly frustrated by being, held down. Everything is done for Seth. What about me? This is a story beat that every faction in the history of wrestling has done, and we're going to see it here too. So you can clearly see the future of how this thing is going to crumble at some point, with Seth being this cocky, arrogant, ruler who expects everybody just to fall in line, and eventually that unpredictability and that intensity of Braun Breaker is going to bubble over and not be able to tolerate that any longer. And when he does, he's going to rip Seth Rollins' fucking head off and eat it. And that's going to be awesome when it happens. But before then, right now, he's looking dumb. He's looking like a dumb ass. He's looking like a simpleton, like a simple man who cannot think or process information on his own. He has to have his hand held all the way through. And I didn't like that. I thought that he should be a little bit more mentally capable of being able to smell bullshit that's right in front of him. And we're going to get there, but I just thought this one specific example was something that I didn't like very much. And so, after this is great. After Rollins is done riling up Braun Breaker, Heyman then starts to pitch basically an Extreme Rules match with Jay and Breaker. How about tonight, right here in Philadelphia, many years ago, not far down from here at the ECW arena. We used to have matches like this whatever the fuck he said, I don't remember. But he starts name dropping ECW legends like the Sandman and whoever the fuck else. He named the Dudley Boys. I heard him say the Dudley Boys. And so he's bringing up all these ECW legends, and then he says, I think he says the late great somebody, maybe Chris Candido or something, or the late great Sabu, and then he says the late great Tommy Dreamer. And this is where I can't tell if he made a mistake and he overcorrected, or if this whole exchange was planned. So Heyman, as he's name dropping people, he says like the late great Sabu, the late great Tommy Dreamer, and then he immediately recognizes that he's wrong. Dreamer's not dead, and he says, "I know he's not dead, but he should be." And then Breaker says, "He's still alive?" And then Heyman goes, "Unfortunately." So Tommy Dreamer just out here catching some strays, which I enjoyed because I don't really like Tommy Dreamer very much. He's just weird to me, and maybe there's some unresolved history between him and Paul Heyman, or maybe it's just playful ribbing. I think that when Heyman was saying late great, he just said it one too many times. I think people have done that by accident before. I don't think that's the first time I've heard someone refer to a living person as the late great. Sometimes you just do that. So I think he might have just accidentally said it and then tried to correct by saying, I know he's not dead, but he should be. Oh, God. When Tommy Dreamer does die, they're going to have to play that clip. Who's going to die first, him or Heyman? Probably Heyman, but my God. That was just a wild exchange, and I got a huge chuckle out of it. And I hope that it's just kind of some playful ribbing, but if not, it sounds like Heyman just made a mistake and then tried to correct for it, made it worse. Either way, I was sports entertained, and that's all that mattered to me. So basically, after all that name dropping, all that ECW shit, Jay is like, cool, no problem. Breaker, myself, Extreme Rules, main event. So at least we were guaranteed to not get a disqualification finish in tonight's main event, which I think has happened on the last 14 or 15 Raws in a row. But we had a Hell in a Cell match with a disqualification once, didn't we? So I wasn't counting my chickens, so to speak, because I still felt that even with an Extreme Rules stipulation, you know exactly what's going to happen with everybody coming out and which the order they're going to come out and all that stuff. So kind of a predictable main event, even with the Extreme Rules stipulation. We just didn't know exactly how many cookie sheets they were going to hit each other with. That's all. So we cut backstage. Io Sky is back there. She's chilling at Gorilla. She is approached by the Kabukis. Of course, the three of them had a big shouting match, and Asuka just stormed off, pissed off last week. So now the Kabukis are back. They both apologize to Io, and Io says it's okay, I appreciate it, and once again insists on doing everything on her own, but says that she still loves them, and then they share some nice high fives. And I don't think those high fives are going to last. And then Io Sky has a one-on-one match with Raquel Rodriguez. So it's Io Sky versus Raquel. Pretty fun match, to be honest. Even it kind of felt like a throwaway match here, but it was pretty fun. Roxanne was out there, of course, getting all involved. But in the end, it was Io Sky hitting the over the moonsault to Raquel for the win. And right after that, Roxanne immediately attacks. There's a post-match beat down on Io Sky, and she's getting her ass kicked right after she told the Kabukis to stay out of her business, so they don't come out. They just allow her to get beat down, but then Mommy comes out. Rhea Ripley. Moment of silence, please. I'm just thinking about what she was wearing. Okay, I'm done. So...
All right, hold on.
Oh my God. So she comes out, kicks the shit out of...
Now let's go into the other podcasters. Let's go into the other people in the chat. We got Jason and Solomon out there.
How do you get out of having 5 straight weeks of a show with a disqualification ending? By having a main event with no disqualifications. Finally, the streak has ended. Raw tonight was in Philadelphia, so they made the main event tonight an Extreme Rules match, because when you're in Philly, that's what you do. Especially when Paul Heyman's guy is in the main event. And so that is how they ended the show tonight. Braun Breaker and Jey Uso in an Extreme Rules match, which featured the return of one Roman Reigns. We saw him laid out a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I think. So he was back tonight. Not only was Roman Reigns back, he helped his cousin win. Jey Uso gets the win. But also, we now have a new match added to the Clash in Paris card. It is going to be Roman Reigns one-on-one with Bronson Reed. The Battle of the Shula Fala. Roman is going to try to get his shoes back, I assume. Although he's got more than enough money, he can just keep buying new pairs. It really doesn't matter. But as a matter of respect, I don't think he wants Bronson Reed walking around with his shoes around his neck for the rest of time, so he'll try to get his shoes back in Paris. But that was how they closed the show. And I actually thought the main event was good. There was some chaos there at the very end. Yeah, again, it was your typical WWE Extreme Rules match. I mean, nothing you haven't seen before. And they largely kept it to ringside. They didn't really go through the crowd or anything like that. We also had tonight a very special announcement from the Women's World Champion, another member of the Bloodline, Naomi. who was disqualified from competition last week, not medically cleared. She was supposed to defend her title against Io Sky. That did not happen. And they've been very, very hush-hush all week long about Naomi's condition. Nothing leaked, nothing was said about an injury or an illness or anything else. But rumors were going bonkers, obviously, on social media. I talked about what I thought it might be, but it was all speculation. It is speculation no more. Naomi is with child. And so, therefore, Naomi has vacated the Women's World Championship. And again, I think a lot of people expected this to be the case, especially Natty on Busted Open the other day. I mentioned this on the podcast. She made a comment about, clearly she had spoken to Naomi and she knew more than she was letting on, but she made a comment to the effect of, things are kind of crazy right now, but crazy in a good way, not necessarily crazy in a bad way. And to me, I think that basically gave it away, right? If it's a good kind of crazy, then it can only be one thing. And so, Big Jim, who knew that, of all the people who could take that championship from Naomi, it was Jimmy Uso. But yes, he did not proceed with caution, and so she is pregnant. She will now go off to tend to her family. And the Women's World Championship is vacant. They did not shed any light on what they plan on doing. They did mention the fact that Stephanie Vicaire has a guaranteed Women's Championship match in Paris in, at this point, probably less than 2 weeks. But that next week, they'll shed some more light on exactly how they intend to work that out. And I've talked about it. It's very simple, actually, in terms of how you work this out. It should just be a one-on-one match. Stephanie gets her title shot. Io gets the title shot that she was supposed to get last week but got cheated out of. Io Sky against Stephanie Vicaire. Let them go out there for 15 minutes and tear it up. That's it. Now, the only thing I can think of is if they really want Rhea Ripley on that show, they just kind of toss her in there to make it a triple threat just to get her on the card, because she is such a big star. But she's really not needed. I mean, again, if they want her on the show, then have her come out and do commentary or something. I don't know, but the solution seems very obvious to me, without the need to have some sort of number one contenders match or qualifying match or mini tournament or something like that. So we'll find out about that next week. But in terms of the announcement itself, I have to say, the actual announcement that Naomi made tonight was fucking great. In terms of these types of announcements, and I don't just mean like a pregnancy announcement, but like an injury announcement, somebody has to vacate a championship, this was among the very best that I've ever seen. And obviously she didn't have very long as the champion. And she only defended her title once in that time. I mean, it wasn't quite, Finn Balor getting hurt at SummerSlam after winning the Universal title and then having to forfeit the very next night. It wasn't quite that extreme. The timing for her career could not come at a worse time. But it is the best possible announcement. Obviously, I'm sure she's over the moon. She's spoken very openly about her desire to start a family. I believe she's 37 years old. And you just get to a point where it's like, all right, this is either going to happen or it's not. And she was kind of right there where if it was going to happen, it kind of had to happen right now. And it did. So the timing for her career may not be the best. She'll come back. Hopefully she can pick up where she left off. She's been doing great work as a heel. She's been very entertaining in these segments on TV the last few weeks. So she was really coming into her own. Where Raw kind of gets a body blow in this is because Liv Morgan went down with an injury. Effectively what they did was they moved Naomi from SmackDown to Raw to replace Liv Morgan as the top female heel on Monday nights. And she was doing a very good job, and now she's gone. And Liv Morgan is still many months away from coming back. So now they're back kind of to square one as far as who takes that spot as the top female heel on Monday Night Raw. Is it Asuka, who's certainly been teasing that she's going to be going heel soon? Is it Bayley? And tonight we got another, and this was a very weird segment, kind of a pre-taped segment with Bayley, who it appears is probably going heel, but is she going to be the top heel on the show? Does Becky Lynch, as the Intercontinental Champion, sort of become the de facto top female heel? There's an opening now. You know, where situations like this come up, it presents an opportunity for somebody else to step up. Who that person ends up being, we'll have to wait and see. There was a solid match on the show tonight between Io Sky and Raquel Rodriguez. Outside of that, and the Naomi segment and the main event. And that's enough right there to, you know, automatically make this a better show than last week. But still, the rest of the show, very dull, very lifeless, as was this crowd in Philly, honestly, outside of when they hit Roman's music. This was not a very lively crowd here in Philadelphia. The rest of the show was just kind of there. Like I said, very, very boring, very uneventful. Lifeless is probably a good word for it. We've seen a lot of this, especially since SummerSlam. We've seen a lot of this on WWE television, Raw and SmackDown. And so tonight really wasn't all that different. Now, a couple of notes here. It sounds like we're going to be getting an announcement in the next couple of days, probably by midweek. There will be an announcement made about this September PLE. You've been hearing a lot of rumors about it. They are going to be doing a PLE. It's going to be running opposite AEW All Out. That's going to be on Saturday, September 20th. And it appears that this show is going to be called WrestlePalooza, which is a name that ECW used back in the mid to late 90s. And they took it from Lollapalooza. That's how WrestlePalooza became a thing. And so it sounds like that's going to be the name of the show, and it also sounds like it's going to be airing on ESPN. And there's a possibility that all of the remaining PLEs this year may also either air or simulcast on ESPN. But this one, it sounds like some kind of announcement is going to be made in the next few days. That WrestlePalooza will be airing on ESPN on September 20th. So that's what we know now about that. It'll be confirmed in a couple of days. That's where we're going to be getting the John Cena-Brock Lesnar main event. Next Monday, because they're about to kick off this international tour. So Friday, for example, they're going to be in Dublin, Ireland. First time the WWE in its history has ever done TV in Dublin or anywhere in Ireland. I have to check. I believe if you are in certain markets, you want to use your VPN, that you can probably watch SmackDown early. I want to say maybe around 3 o'clock Eastern time. I'll confirm that. If that is the case, that's what I plan on doing. And if so, the plan would then be to go live around 8 o'clock Eastern time for the live stream, which is when SmackDown would be starting here in the States. So just be aware of that. But also next Monday, they're going to be in England. And they flat out said that on Netflix, the show is airing live at 3 p.m. Eastern. You don't need a VPN for that one. 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. Much earlier start time for Raw next Monday, which means an earlier review. Also, probably 8 o'clock Eastern. So I'm not going to go live immediately after Raw, but we will be going live earlier next week. Now, there's another very interesting item. Could mean nothing, could mean something. People who have tickets to some of the upcoming episodes of Raw in September have seen the start times on their tickets updated a little bit earlier than they were originally scheduled for. So, for example, the Raw on September 15th is now listed for a 6:30 p.m. local start time. September 22nd, Raw in Evansville, Indiana, is now listed for a 5:30 p.m. local start time, which would be 6:30 Eastern. And the September 29th Raw in Raleigh, North Carolina, is now listed for a 6:30 p.m. local time. There is speculation, and this could tie into Monday Night Football starting up soon, that potentially starting in September, Raw could be moved up an hour earlier, from 8 p.m. Eastern to 7 p.m. Eastern. And this has not been confirmed. It is, at this point, just speculation, but there could be smoke to that fire. So just be aware of that. That the start time for Raw, at least on a temporary basis, perhaps, could be moving up by an hour. So if I hear anything new on that, I will keep you guys in the loop. But again, just be aware of that, especially if you are in those markets and you have tickets for those shows, that the shows have been bumped up a little bit. This is your Raw and Netflix review. I am the Solomonster. It is Monday night. It is August 18th, 2025. Like and subscribe. Super chats are open. I do appreciate all of your support, as always. I also want to give a quick plug for Sound Off episode 925 that went up yesterday. A lot of news covered in that episode, and I've gotten a lot of feedback, positive and negative, mostly positive, to the segment covering WWE, TNA, AEW. If you missed it, go check it out. It's good stuff. Cover a lot of other stuff, Triple Mania review, AEW Forbidden Door predictions. So that's all up on the podcast right now. If you missed it, please go back and check that out. So let's get into this Raw show here tonight. They advertised that The Vision would be appearing on the show. They did not tell us what The Vision would be doing. They did not give us really any information about what The Vision would be involved in tonight collectively, just that they would be appearing. And so they opened the show with them. They didn't waste any time. We had Seth Rollins and his crew come out to the ring. Rollins... Now look, I know that Rollins is always wearing something very outlandish on these shows. Some kind of weird outfit, giant moon boots. It's always something with this guy. Tonight he was wearing a shirt and pants that had a floral pattern. He looked like my grandmother's garden. I don't know why he was dressed this way. This man is the world heavyweight champion, but there he is. So the fans were cheering for Paul Heyman, who said that he was a god in this city. Did I mention they were in Philadelphia tonight? Said the city would build him a statue, but he was far too humble to accept credit that he deserved for everything that he's done both in front of the camera and behind the camera. Bluntly, he says, "I am the GOAT." And Heyman said the ring was filled with goats, and he put over Braun Breaker, he put over Bronson Reed, who still had Roman shoes around his neck. Heyman put over Rollins and said that he's beaten Roman Reigns not once but twice. Rollins was about to speak, but Jey Uso's music hit, and he entered through the crowd, and he stayed in the crowd. He was cutting his promo, surrounded by kids and fans. He was in the crowd, and he said that he was tired of the Vision. He's not the only one. He called Breaker a puppy dog who would have to deal with him tonight because they were scheduled to go one-on-one. Rollins was in the ring just egging on Braun Breaker, and he's claiming that Jey was saying things about Breaker and his family that he really wasn't saying. He claimed that Jey just said, he was a better and stronger athlete than you. Claimed that Jey said that Braun's father was stupid, and that his uncle was a moron, and that Breaker's family is a bunch of fat asses. And what I loved about this is that it was the fat ass line that finally broke Braun Breaker, and he almost made a beeline into the crowd towards Jey Uso. He had to be held back by the other members of the group. Everything else was fair game, but once he said he's calling your family a bunch of fat asses, that was it. He was ready to murder someone. So Heyman said, "You want to do this to us in Philadelphia?" And then he went on to pay homage to members of the ECW roster. And he said that you want to do this to us in Philly, in a bingo hall not far away. Men used to settle their differences in the ring in a particular kind of match. No disqualifications, no countouts. Winner by pinfall or tap out only. In the name of the believe. So now it's just Rhea and Kyrie. And Kyrie's got her hands on her head, like she's got this pained expression on her face. Ultimately, she leaves to follow them. But I assume that the show would be airing immediately after SmackDown, 10 p.m. Eastern. And in fact, that is what they announced it for originally. When they put the graphic up here on this show for Dominic and Vikingo, on the bottom, it listed 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific.
Peacemaker, can you tell us a little about your skills?
I have a variety of helmets. Each one has a different power.
Activate sonic boom!
Below, let me know what you thought of tonight's Monday. A little bump in the road, and a lot of people were maybe thinking that she's injured because of a luggage accident That is not anywhere close to being the case. And they saved it right before the main event tonight with Jey Uso and Braun Breaker, who wrestled one-on-one in an Extreme Rules match. WWE gave Naomi the floor with the Women's Championship, and tonight she announced that she will be vacating that championship. She is with child, she is pregnant. Big Jim, obviously, did not proceed with caution, and we have a little baby Oos in the making, and another member of the bloodline will be coming in the next 9 months, as Naomi is stepping away right now for the time being, and she has to go away for a little bit. We'll talk about some of the important stuff that came out on the Stephanie McMahon podcast. What's your story with Stephanie McMahon, or is that the name of it? I don't know what's your story with Stephanie McMahon. Cody's is, what do you want to talk about? Really creative names you got over there, Fanatics and WWE. We'll save all the details from when we get to that particular segment in tonight's show, because there's a lot of information, a lot of stuff that they talked about on that particular podcast, which dropped tonight after Monday Night Raw. If you guys want to go listen to it at some point this evening after you're done here, it is about 20 minutes long. They really played it up. Everybody, and you got to give WWE credit, man. Everybody with the speculation, seeing that Naomi and Jimmy Uso were on Stephanie McMahon's podcast last week, they all tuned in to see if they were going to announce that pregnancy. They did not. So it drove traffic to Stephanie McMahon's podcast, and then they uploaded a special 20-minute episode tonight after Monday Night Raw where they announced that they are with child, they are pregnant, and she will be vacating the championship. So, I mean, it's a good business move, I guess, to get more eyes and more ears on Stephanie McMahon's podcast, but I like the way that they kind of put them on the show. They were guests on the show. Everybody thought they were going to announce it. They didn't, and then they dropped the news tonight after Monday Night Raw. Obviously, the big discussion is, what do we do with the Women's World Championship now that Naomi has to vacate the title? And my answer to that question is, I don't know. I don't know. WWE has an absolutely stacked Monday Night Raw women's roster. You could give the championship to anybody on that show, and it would be great. I don't know where they go. I thought that they would probably do Io versus Stephanie again, and the winner, just to keep it simple, Io versus Stephanie, inject it into my fucking blood, go out there and go 20 minutes, give them a banger in Paris, and then crown new champion that way. It's a little bit too simple, and a little bit too easy. That's the easy thing to do. WWE's got a lot of women on Monday night. Rhea, Roxanne, Stephanie, Bayley, Lyra, Asuka, Kyrie. There's just a lot of women on Monday night that you could easily slot into that World Championship title picture and crown the new Women's World Champion. My first instinct is to say, let's go back to Io. Let's go back to Io. She's obviously the best in-ring talent, not only for the women, she may be the best in-ring talent that WWE has right now, period. Out of the men and the women. I've always said, if you are the best at what you do, and you're on that roster, you're the best at what you do, you should be the world champion. There are other factors that are going to come into play, obviously, but I think Io has absolutely killed everything that she's been in. Match of the year candidates up and down this year. She doesn't have a bad match. She brought Raquel Rodriguez to a very good TV match tonight. The woman could do it all. There's not one person who dislikes what Io brings to the table. Obviously, you got Stephanie Vaquer. I'm not giving the title to Stephanie Vaquer. How many appearances has Stephanie made on Monday Night Raw since she got called up to the main roster? Honestly. Has she even wrestled since the Battle Royal at Evolution? I don't think she's wrestled. She might have wrestled in a 6-woman tag team match, and that was basically it. But there were other women, other stars, sharing that spotlight alongside her. She wasn't the one and only in that match. She teamed with Io and Rhea, I believe. Or Nikki Bella and Rhea. I'm not giving the title to Stephanie because she's an unproven commodity on the show. Fans don't know her. They do, but they don't. She's still new to the WWE, especially on the main roster. You need to build up fan trust. You need to wait for that moment. To give Stephanie the championship, all because she's the hot hand, and she's beautiful, and she's this, and she's that, and she's got a great social media presence, it is way, way too soon to give Stephanie the championship. Way too soon. You could go Bayley. You can slot Bayley into that role, take over the heel spot, which I believe we all see where that's going with Bayley. We could see that she's turning heel. I don't know what type of character she's going to be playing. She may be playing some split personality. She might be WWE Raw's version of Harvey Dent. Who the fuck knows? I don't know. But a heel Bayley is good for business. They're losing Naomi. They obviously need another solid number 2 heel on Monday night outside Becky Lynch. Bayley could be that woman. I don't know if WWE is even going to put Bayley in title contention as we get into Clash in Paris. There will be a match that determines a champion at some point between now and then. Bayley may be not ready for that role yet. Asuka, Kairi, obviously Rhea. I mean, no, I'm not giving the title back to Rhea. Rhea is doing just fine without the championship. I think her and Io teaming up against Asuka and Kairi is the next direction. I like what's being built there. I am not putting the belt on Rhea Ripley just because she's Rhea Ripley. I'm not doing that. So what we can do here is come to the conclusion of Rhea no, Stephanie no, Io no, Bayley no, Lyra no, Raquel Rodriguez no, Natalya no, Nikki Bella no, Becky Lynch no. If I had my way and I had the pen, I'm putting the belt on Roxanne Perez. That's your hot take for tonight. If I had the pen, I'm putting the belt on Roxanne Perez. That's what I'm doing. Not only has Roxanne Perez absolutely killed it, she has solidified herself, clearly, from what we see, as, what does she call herself, chat? The Prodigy? I think building Roxanne Perez up with that women's championship would not only add a much-needed dose of adrenaline to the Judgment Day, I'm thinking about when Liv Morgan gets back. Everything that you do right now, everybody that you're probably thinking of outside Roxanne Perez is putting the belt on someone for the sake of putting the belt on someone. I'm putting the belt on Roxanne Perez because when Roxanne Perez is the champion and Liv Morgan comes back, what does that do for the Women's World Championship, chat? It automatically puts the belt and automatically puts Roxanne Perez in a long-term storyline. You start planting the seeds and you start building to that now. That's what I would do. Everybody else is just because they are your favorite and it's easy to pick anybody out of the leagues of women that I gave you. Roxanne Perez is the best choice, in my opinion, for the Women's Championship now. That's what I would do. Take a chance. Take a chance. Everybody else is just more of the same, and you're going back to your safe space. Everybody else that you may be thinking of as far as Stephanie, too new. I'm putting it on Roxanne Perez. And I start building to when Liv gets back, and they do Liv versus Roxanne Perez. When, where, I don't know, but I'm putting the belt on Roxanne Perez. At least you would know the belt would be in good hands, the belt would be in story, the Judgment Day could use it, and Roxanne Perez is going to deliver exactly what you need as far as a women's world champion. That's my hot take for tonight. Now, Roxanne is not too soon. Anybody that's saying Roxanne is too soon, clearly you just started watching the show yesterday. No, it's not too soon. What's too soon? What's too soon? She's been in the ring with all of the major names on the roster. What's too soon? No, it's not too soon. You know what she can do. You know that she's in the Judgment Day, so she's automatically going to get heat standing next to Dominic and Finn Balor and JD McDonough. It's not too soon. Too soon means that you just started watching the show last week. You might not even know who Roxanne Perez is. It is not too soon. I'm going with Roxanne Perez. WWE came under fire last week for 4 straight Monday Night Raws that ended in a disqualification. The last time we got a clean victory was a gauntlet match won by CM Punk, where he won the right to wrestle Gunther at SummerSlam in the main event of Night 1. Every single week since then, Monday Night Raws ended in a disqualification. Clearly somebody in WWE heard and said, all right, they don't like that we ended the show the same way with a disqualification 4 straight weeks. We'll show them. So tonight in Philadelphia, they gave themselves an easy out and booked a main event between Braun Breaker and Jey Uso in Philadelphia and made it an Extreme Rules match. So we basically got everything that we got over the last 4 weeks, but WWE made it all legal. So we couldn't complain about it. Meanwhile, I will complain about it because it is virtually the same ending that we got 2 weeks ago when Roman Reigns came back to save the day. The only difference is he was allowed to do it during the match instead of doing it after the match. WWE's attention to detail is lacking in 2025. There's nothing really exciting going on in the main event. Sure, it made sense. Sure, it set up Clash in Paris. But man, oh man, the endings to these shows just leave so much to be desired. Honestly. It's the same shit every single week. Every week. WWE has the benefit now of going to the United Kingdom and to Dublin this coming week. So the crowds are going to be better. Hopefully the shows are going to be a little bit more exciting. I can't really sit here and tell you that the way Monday Night Raw went off the air really tickled my excitement. Or tickled me with excitement. It's the same shit every single week. Roman Reigns came back. He delivered a spear to Braun Breaker. And he Superman punched Bronson Reed. And he saved Jey Uso from a beatdown. As Jey Uso beat Braun Breaker. And then they teased, which ultimately means confirmed in this case. Roman Reigns is coming back for his Shula Fala. And he's going one-on-one with Bronson Reed at Clash in Paris. Great. We all saw where that was going. Penta wrestled Xavier Woods. I don't know what the point of all of this is. We had AAA stars on the show tonight. Vikingo, the AAA Mega Champion, was on the show tonight, as he and Dominic Mysterio were just announced for September 12th. Worlds collide between WWE and AAA once again. Mr. Iguana was on the show tonight, teaming with Dragon Lee against the Judgment Day. And obviously we got more news on Naomi announcing her pregnancy with Big Jim. Tonight we will go over all of the details that were leaked tonight from Stephanie McMahon's podcast. And we'll go over what she said on that episode, which airs tonight after Monday Night Raw. We'll go over it all tonight. Thank you so very much for joining me here on your Monday night. This is the Monday Night Raw post show right here on Off the Script. It is your Monday, August 18th, 2025. We're having a great August, chat. We're having a great August. Friday, a lot of you said that what I uploaded in regards to the TNA new TV rights negotiations landing on the WWE network and going head-to-head with AEW Dynamite on Wednesday. There were a lot of you that reached out in the comment section of that video, in my DM, active in his voice when he's in Philadelphia. Because the city means a lot to him. And the people look at Paul Heyman and they look at him as a legit fucking legend. Which exactly, that's what Paul Heyman is. He's a fucking legend. Not only in Philadelphia, in general. In life. In this thing called pro wrestling. He's a fucking legend. I really wish WWE would do more with these segments. I really do. Maybe start the show off in a different way. Start the show off with something else on the show. Are there no other conflicts on the show? Like, we're getting to a point, and I don't want to be nitpicky, but I have to. Because it's just something that recurs every single week. The show starts the same. The show ends the same. I really wish that they would start these shows a little bit different from time to time. Not all the time, but sometimes I would like to see something else open the show. WWE, I don't know what they're planning to do. It almost sounds like, it almost feels like that they truly have no vision. And it's funny that that's the name of the group, The Vision. It almost feels like WWE has no vision as to where we're going here. Like, you could see all the pieces lining up and who is battling alongside each other on the babyface side and who's on the heel side. WWE almost comes off as if they have no vision for this group. What is their mission? What do they want? What is their ultimate goal on Monday night? It's the same thing every week. Put down the baby faces, rinse and repeat going into the next week. Some weeks they don't get the advantage over the baby faces, and some weeks the baby faces stand tall. Ultimately, it's good guys versus bad guys. What is the end goal? It's as if you're writing a movie script. You got a beginning, a middle, and an end. The heel, the villain in the movie, obviously is set out to do something. What is it? Rollins won the World Heavyweight Championship. That can't be the only thing on his fucking plate. Winning the World Heavyweight Championship couldn't have been the ultimate end goal for him. He was going to do it well into this group's life cycle, with so much more still to come. What is the next ultimate goal for this group? Or is it just vanquishing the babyfaces, getting rid of LA Knight and Jey Uso and CM Punk and Roman Reigns? Is that how linear our creative has gotten? Is that as simple as the creative team is going to operate? What else is this group on the show for? What do they want? What else do they want to achieve outside of bringing the World Heavyweight Championship to Seth Rollins, which was already done at SummerSlam on night 2? See, that's the stuff that I look for. That's the stuff that I look for. Outside that, show started the same promo. Heyman hyping up Ron Breakker as a WrestleMania main eventer. The Shula Fala, the Tribal Thief, the Shunami in Bronson Reed. They now added another shoe pun to his character. That was the only difference for tonight, as far as this segment is concerned. Jey Uso comes down, he yeets, he lets some little kids yeet with him. They make a main event. It's an Extreme Rules match because they're in Philadelphia. And they get away with not having 5 straight weeks of disqualification fuck finishes on the Monday Night Raw show in the main event. Now they're allowed to do it because it's no rules. This show sometimes gives you fucking agita, bro. It gives you fucking... There's just no life. There's no life to these segments, bro. You could sit there and make ECW references all you want because you're in Philadelphia. You could drop ECW legends in your promo and get cheap pops for it. You can pay homage to Sabu all you want, and New Jack all you want. You can have Braun Breaker run down fucking funny things he says about the fucking fat slobs in the crowd and Jey Uso. I'm gonna need more than that, bro. It's gotten to a point where it's not even entertaining anymore. It's not funny anymore. Like, I'm at a point, I just want to be coddled with story. I want story, bro. Give me a mission. Give me an end goal. What is it? What is it? You won the World Championship. Great. What's next? What's next? Are we adding a new member? Austin Theory. I still think Austin Theory is joining the group. I think we may see him in Paris, if anything. They need an end goal. They need an end goal. It's the same shit every single week. And it's just tiresome. It really is just tiresome. They showed a clip of Asuka offering to be Io's friend and in Io's corner last week. But Sky told her no thank you. And then Asuka and Kairi came out anyway, leading to a distraction that opened up Roxanne Perez to roll up Io and get a win last week. Then they showed Sky distraught, yelling at Asuka, Asuka shoving her, and storming off. That was the last we saw of Asuka and Io. Backstage tonight, Io was warming up, and in walks Asuka and Kairi Sane. Asuka apologized for her last week. Asuka said she'll always have her back. Io said she appreciates that, but she needs to do this tonight on her own. They smile, they all high-fived, everything looks to be good to go for all three of these ladies. Former Damage Control. Great. Opening match at Io, Raquel Rodriguez out there with Roxanne Perez. This was actually very good, man. Raquel Rodriguez is becoming a solid female in that division. And she's doing probably the best work of her entire WWE main roster run on, honestly. I think so. So we'll pick it up here. We go right to a commercial break. Before the commercial break, Rodriguez used a Roxanne Perez distraction on the out. Rodriguez distraction because she turns around at Io right into a big boot. And they go into a commercial break. So we go into a break, we come back from the break, Io came back, and she dropped an elbow drop. Sky hits a missile drop kick. Io went for what she calls the bullet train, which is her running Meteora in the corner. Rodriguez caught her and hit a Samoan drop. She goes up top, follows that up with a corkscrew elbow drop. Signature Rodriguez goes for a cover, gets a 2 count. Rodriguez then avoided a moonsault and turned Sky inside out with a clothesline for a 2. Io, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, wipes out Perez with a suicide dive on the outside. That landed beautifully. And then she went for one on Rodriguez on the other side of the ring. But Rodriguez rolled through and caught Io through the ropes. She rolled through, had her in a fall-away slam position, and lawn darted her into the steel post. She then goes back in the ring with Io. She sets up for a Tejana bomb to finish her off. Io countered, and she hits another bullet train. Io goes up top, goes for over the moonsault, and that was enough for the 1, 2, 3. Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez then 2-on-1 attack Io Sky after the match. Asuka didn't come out. Io didn't come out. Or rather, Kairi didn't come out to help Io. So Io is not being helped by Asuka and Kairi. Instead, Rhea Ripley comes out to help Io Sky. She ran out to make the save. She joined in. They worked together, and they took out the ladies of the Judgment Day. This actually was pretty decent for Raquel Rodriguez. It got better after the commercial break. It was a little clunky before the commercial break, but they settled into a nice match. And we got Rhea Ripley helping her friend Io Sky against the ladies of the Judgment Day. So no Asuka and no Kairi. They listened. They did the right thing. Io told them last week to stay in the back. They didn't listen. They wanted to come out and help, and instead they ruined Io beating Roxanne last week. This week, Io tells them, I need to do this on my own, and they listen and respect Io's wishes. So out comes Rhea, because they listened to Io. So Rhea helps Io. You can see where the tension is now, because Rhea thinks that the Kabuki Warriors should have come out when obviously Io was being double-teamed by Raquel and Roxanne. Where were you? What were you doing? Why did I have to go out there and help your friend, my friend? Where the fuck were you? So there's clearly something brewing here with all four of these women, and I very much like it. Jackie Rudman. She interviewed LA Knight before LA Knight could really even say anything. CM Punk walked in. She said, Seth always has a plan B. LA Knight says, I don't care if it's plan C, plan B, plan A, it doesn't matter. CM Punk walks in. LA Knight asks, what do you want? Punk asks Redman to leave and leave them one-on-one so they can talk out their differences. LA Knight said, no, don't go nowhere. You do your job. You can stay here. Punk says they don't like each other. Knight says it's not about liking you, it's business. And after you meddled in both of my title matches, Punk said they need cohesion with Jay to get to Clash in Paris. Punk says he and Jay won't make it to Clash if they don't get on the same page with them. Knight says he's going to be standing tall with the WWE title in his hands. Not going to be you, it's going to be me, with everybody saying L.A. Knight. Yeah. So, again, tension between LA Knight and CM Punk. They need to be on the same page, but not in Paris. It's every man for himself. Backstage, Rhea Ripley. Ripley apologized to Io for going out there and saving her. Io thanked her. Asuka and Kairi then walked in. Asuka asked why Io is okay with Rhea intervening, but not them. Ripley and Asuka then argued, because Ripley wanted to know, well, where were you? Why did I have to go out there? Sky yelled for everybody to stop yelling, stormed off frustrated, and she walked down the hall, and you could hear her as she walked into the distance, just still slamming doors and screaming. Asuka then told Ripley in a very stern manner, stay out of our business. Asuka walked away frustrated. Kairi stood, very saddened by her friends just kind of falling apart here. And she went to go check again on Asuka. Everybody is trying to argue and stand up for Io. Everybody wants to be Io's friend. There's a lot of miscommunication going on here. They don't know what they have to do to make sure everybody's on the same page and lines are getting crossed. This is obviously leading to Asuka becoming ultimately frustrated and jealous that Io is trusting Rhea when her family is Asuka and Kairi. Her road partners are Asuka and Kairi. Former stablemates in Asuka and Kairi, but she's found peace and solace and friendship in Rhea Ripley? Why Rhea, but not us? Why is it okay for Rhea to come help you? You don't say nothing to her. You say thank you to her, and then you scold us for trying to help you beat Roxanne Perez, where it was clearly a 2-on-1 advantage last week. It's not the most groundbreaking story, but I like this because all of these women have something to do with each other. You got real-life instances here with Kairi, Asuka, and Io, former stablemates. They are obviously lifelong friends. And then you got Rhea, who we know what she's done with Io this year, and the battles that they've had for the Women's Championship. One of the best WrestleMania matches of all time this year. One of the best matches of the year at Evolution in the main event, one-on-one for the Women's Championship. There's history there. Rhea obviously hasn't even beaten Io. That's another key part of their history and their story. I like where this is going. Again, like I said, it's not breaking any ground. It's not fucking Academy Award-winning storytelling. But there's issues here, and there's history between all of these women. So when you get to where we're going with it, and you get to things exploding, which it looks like things are going to be headed towards a tag team match, whether that happens in Paris or not, I don't know. I do think that this is going to be a fun ride, just based on the history between all four of these women. Now, I don't know what they do. Where this match takes place, when it happens, I don't know. You would think that WWE is going to do one of two things. WWE 1 could include all these women in some sort of multi-woman match for the Women's Championship, which Naomi vacated. I don't know what that means for Stephanie. Stephanie is the number one contender. She earned a number one contender match, a one-on-one match with the champion. So I don't know what they're going to do as far as that is concerned. WWE is not going into Paris and leaving Rhea Ripley off that show. I do think that they may hold back on the Women's Championship as plans obviously changed with Naomi now. And I think we get this tag team match on that card in Paris. I do think that we get Rhea and Io versus Asuka and Kairi in Paris. That's what I would do. I'm not sure if they're going to go and do that, but I just can't see them leaving Io or Rhea Ripley off of that Paris card because just look at how over they are. That would be criminally insane to leave Rhea Ripley off that card. So we'll see what happens. I like what's going on here. It's simple storytelling and it all makes sense and there's a lot of history there, which is going to mean there's going to be a lot of emotion in that match. And that's what I'm here for. Penta. He went one-on-one with Xavier Woods. This is not really the most exciting thing for Penta to be doing on this show, but at least he's getting television time, huh? We go into a commercial break about 90 seconds into the match, which is protocol for WWE. We pick it up after the break. Penta made a comeback after the break. He wiped out Xavier and Grayson Waller with a dive over the top rope. Woods came back, reverse vertical suplex for a cover and a 2 count. The crowd was not too much into this, which I don't blame them. The New Day are ice fucking cold. Penta countered Woods on a roll with a Penta driver. He did not immediately go for the cover. Woods managed to roll up to the ropes and get his foot on the ropes. This allowed Kofi Kingston to put his foot on the bottom rope. To break the cover, Penta wiped out Kingston and Waller with a flip dive. And Woods tried to steal a pin with a small package, but Penta kicked out and transitioned into a Canadian destroyer, or a Mexican destroyer, for a 1, 2, 3, and a pinfall victory over Xavier Woods. Don't know where we're going with this. Penta has who exactly to battle the New Day and Grayson Waller. Now next week, WWE is going to be in Birmingham, England. They already announced Penta will go one-on-one with Kofi Kingston next week. I don't know where this is going, but I don't exactly care either. I don't. Dominic Mysterio. They showed him getting close to winning the AAA Mega Championship. He came close to winning the Mega Championship. They showed a clip of Dominic Mysterio complaining that AJ Styles cost him the AAA Mega Championship at Triple Mania.
Take a look around. Before the curtain rises, before the crowd roars, before...
Complaining over 4 million views. The biggest Triple Mania of all time. It was announced that Dominic Mysterio, the current Intercontinental Champion, would wrestle Vikingo, the AAA Mega Champion, in a one-on-one match at Worlds Collide. He's getting his rematch September 12th at Worlds Collide in Las Vegas. Rey Mysterio walked in, taunted Dominic, and Dominic is getting his rematch, as Corey Graves went on to reiterate, at Worlds Collide. We'll do it all over again. Awesome. I don't know when we get that AJ Styles IC title match with Dominic Mysterio. That should be on the priority list relatively soon. I could see Dominic beating Vikingo and becoming the AAA Mega Champion at Worlds Collide. I could. I thought they were going to do it at Triple Mania, but they had Vikingo, who is the AAA Mega Champion, win at their biggest show of the year, and maybe drop the title to Dominic at one of their shows. We'll see what happens. Mr. Iguana and Dragon Lee, who had a great showing at Triple Mania. Tag team match here. Finn Balor and J.D. McDonough are their opponents. They showed some Philadelphia Eagles sitting front row with the Super Bowl trophy and their very blinged out Super Bowl rings. WWE's got to get that sports nod there, being that they're going to ESPN relatively soon. You guys hear the rumor that WWE may be giving ESPN a test run on September 20th for this unnamed show that WrestleVotes is teasing could be called WrestlePalooza. Yeah. WrestlePalooza on ESPN, headlined by John Cena and Brock Lesnar, in Indianapolis at the Bainbridge Fieldhouse on September 20th as they counter-program AEW All Out. Man, they are just... They're doing this, the good old finger to AEW, man. They just keep fucking body shotting them, man, and that one is just a blow to the fucking jaw. Oh, we're just not counter-programming you, man. We're going to be on ESPN to give a little test run for where we're going next year. Gotta love it. All the sickos collectively crying into their fucking teddy bears this evening. Great. Love to see it. Tag team match here. I mean, again, I don't really know where this goes, but clearly we had an interference here. And with the announcement of Dominic and Vikingo, they clearly wanted to add some fuel to that rematch coming on September 12th. So we'll pick it up after the commercial break. Crowd is singing Dominic's song in a very UK-like manner. Dragon Lee and Mr. Iguana wiped out Balor and McDonough with dives. As we go, thanks to her. She was only defending herself when Natalya choked her. Becky Lynch said that whatever it may be, you knew who was coming out. Those violins in Shinsuke Nakamura's theme, Sami Zayn's theme when he opens, or when he comes out there, that ska music that Sami Zayn comes out to, Whoa! Oh! You know who that is? Bobby Roode's Glorious. Glorious! Everybody knew who that was. Undisputed Era. Shock the System. Everybody knew. Johnny Gargano's Rebel Heart. Baron Corbin's theme, which was fucking great. So on and so forth. Aleister Black. The names just keep on coming out, man. I mean, the CFO Money era was something else as far as theme music. Becky Lynch's old theme, you knew who that was. You knew who that was. Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Bayley. You knew who everybody was when they came out. The problem with Becky Lynch's theme song is the hook doesn't come in until after like 30 seconds. So I don't know what they were going for, bro. Listen, I'm not here to listen to music and pretending to be live in a concert. Watching the band play the song on stage. You got such a small window to hook the audience with your theme music to give them a fucking reason to care. The song doesn't get going until 30, 40 seconds in.
I might well end my video. I made this video long enough. I made like an hour and 20 minutes on the live stream, so I might well just end the video. Just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for all the support. Hit that like button, leave a comment. As I said, my video is sponsored by my favorite podcasters who you just heard in the chat. Solid Author JD, Fightful Pro Wrestling, and Good Mic Work Commentary. Make sure you guys leave a comment. Please subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comment section below y'all want to see more. I will upload more videos. I will do NBA 2K17. I will play 2K25. And I will do more videos of Fortnite. Until next time, this is Jacob Cat 2024.